All right, what's going on, everyone? Blitzball Champ is back with a brand new video. So, this is going to be my overall recap and thoughts after the Carolina Panthers' first season game. Um, for those that saw and watched, unfortunately, the Denver Broncos defeated the Carolina Panthers by a score of 21-20, won by 1 point. This was the NFL season opener, and this was a rematch of last year's Super Bowl, Super Bowl 50. So I'm gonna just go right into it because I don't expect this to be a long video, but there's just a couple of things that I want to point out that I feel like stood out to me the most. First off, I felt like this game was very badly officiated. And one of the things that stuck out to me, which I'm sure a lot of people noticed, were the helmet to helmet hits on Cam Newton. Now, if I remember correctly, like a lot of the reporters, analysts counted 4 or 5 helmet to helmet hits. I initially counted 3, but with one being penalized, but was on an offsetting penalty because at the time Cam Newton uh, committed an intentional grounding, which, I mean, you can't blame him for trying to get rid of the ball in that situation. I mean, he got hit high and low, with the high hit being the hit in the head. But here's my thing. Yes, I understand, Cam Newton got rocked. He got up and, he kept playing. But, with what a lot of the analysts have been saying, I definitely agree with. I feel like if any other quarterback, like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, you know, Peyton Manning, back when he was still playing, they get hit like that, immediate penalty. No questions asked. And I feel like, Cam Newton, gets overlooked because, he's almost 6'6" and 260, 70 something pounds. I think 260 pounds. He's a big guy. He's a big guy. But at the same time, that shouldn't change the fact that if the whole NFL is going to emphasize, better protection for our players, especially the quarterbacks, that Thursday night game was a bad example. That was just really poor, a poor job on the officials, I think, overall. But that's just my take on that. Thankfully, Cam is all right. Yes, it's still early, still a lot of football left to play. But anyway, my next thing, I don't know what happened with the offensive line, but they were blocking Von Miller just fine in the first half, and then all of a sudden they just, second half, it's like they completely ignore him. He was getting by Remmers, just like shades of Super Bowl 50, and I just felt like Remmers let up. So I don't know how it even came down to that when, the blocking schemes, were just fine. And then all of a sudden, they just totally take the attention off of them. So I wasn't happy with that at all with the offensive line. Next thing, I really feel like Cam Newton didn't spread the ball enough. So really, I hope that he can get the receivers collectively more involved. I mean, don't get me wrong, Kelvin Benjamin had a great game, and it's great to have him back. He gets his first touchdown of the season. And of course, Greg Olsen had some great catches. I think looked like he had 7 catches for 73 yards. But like all the other receivers, like only had one catch or or no catches. So I'm hoping we can get a lot more production out of the receivers collectively. But Cam Newton did target Kelvin Benjamin quite a lot in this game, so he's got to spread the ball. He's got to really spread the ball. So that definitely has to get better. Let's see. Oh, Trey Boston and James Bradberry need to wake up. Yes, Trey Boston had a sack. That was good. But if James Bradberry and these other cornerbacks, if they don't wake up, they're going to get beat and exposed in the passing game throughout this entire season. So that's got to be fixed. And I know a lot of people, making the claim, they're missing Josh Norman. I can understand that. But this is the first game, so hopefully everything that needs to be fixed with that will get fixed. And lastly, so many people want to blame Gano for the Panthers' failure in winning this game. Okay, yes, he missed the 50-yard field goal, which he made the first time, but timeout was called. He was iced, missed it the second time, which cost the game. Here's the thing. Yes, he missed the field goal. It was a 50-yard field goal, which the last time I checked, 50-yard field goals aren't a chip shot. I mean, there's a big difference between, 50-yard field goals and, 20 or even 30. It's come on, big difference. Not to mention, if I remember correctly, and others, that watch, will probably see this as well. The Carolina Panthers defense forced 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble, and were only able to score 1 touchdown from those 3 turnovers. To be honest, it shouldn't have even come down to a field goal. Honestly, the score at the end of the first half was 17-7. It should have been a lot higher than that. It should have been 21-7 or, less for the Broncos. They forced 3 turnovers. So honestly, you can't really put this on Gano. You really can't. Not to mention, people are saying he's trash. He's trash. I mean, he had an excellent season last year. I mean, he's one of the best kickers that Carolina has had since John Casey. Because the only other one that I remember, and he was trash, was Orlando Mare. So, honestly, for people to blame Gano on this, make it seem like he sucks, I disagree with. I highly disagree with. Because it shouldn't have even come down to a field goal. Carolina really should have been dominating this game. I mean, they forced 3 turnovers. Yes, Cam did throw a pick, which really wasn't his fault. But Carolina should have easily won this game with the amount of turnovers that they caused. So, for people to blame Gano on this, I don't agree with. I mean, honestly, I feel like it'd be a little bit different if the field goal attempt was maybe a 30 or 25 or less field goal, which generally is a chip shot. But this one wasn't. It was a 50-yarder. Not to mention he's working with a different holder. Doesn't have Brad Nortman anymore. Has Andy Lee, our new punter. So it's really? But anyway, rough start for Carolina. They start 0-1. And I just noticed today in the NFC South, Falcons lost and the Saints lost. And the Buccaneers beat the Falcons. And the Raiders beat the Saints. So looks like the Buccaneers for this first week stand alone with the 1-0 in the NFC South. But hopefully, I'm pretty sure Carolina will bounce back from this one. They go back home next week. Their home opener against the San Francisco 49ers, which should be a win, in my opinion. Should be an easy win, but nowadays anything can happen. But, they'll be going back home. And if I remember correctly, Carolina's been undefeated at home for what? About 1 to 2 seasons? So I'm looking forward. I'm really looking forward to this. So let's see what happens. And yeah, go Panthers. Alrighty, I'll check y'all later. Comments, thoughts, opinions, bring them on. This is Blitzball Champ signing off. You have a blessed night. I'm going to go watch WWE Backlash.